And have you ever been in a situation where you kind of like thought about something and it happened, then you're wondering why did it happen? Or maybe you keep visualizing something, but you realize what you were visualizing just became real. Okay, today I have a very simple thing I'm going to cover with you guys. Okay, I want to cover something we call the power of your mind. Your mind is such a powerful thing that I don't even make. Honestly speaking, if you really know how powerful you are, I think people look at life completely different. So watch this. Okay, watch this. To transform your mental state of mind, Augustine, let me work on it, okay? To transform the mental state of mind, Augustine, thank you. You know, you always know what to do. You come in, you give the like. Transforming mental patterns for a fuller life. Our internal mental landscape is a very complex mix of thoughts. Very, very complex. You know, emotions, dreams, hopes, desires, all of these things they exist. It also harbors fears, sadness, anxieties, regrets, and frightening thoughts that often threaten to overwhelm us. Every one of us have thoughts in our heads, and our thoughts are real. Okay, at least to us, they are real. But you see, mind sight, your mind having its own eyes, called mind sight. Mind sight serves, as a transformative force reshaping our mental condition. And literally, it can either free you or your mind can enslave you. You see, the worst type of slavery is not a physical slavery. Nelson Mandela was enslaved, but mentally he was free. That's why he came out and became a president. You see, it is not the physical, it's the mental. So the mindset, provides the ability for you to recognize and control mental activities, like your habitual behaviors, your reflexive responses, that often consumes you. So your mindset gives you the ability to lead like a repetitive patterns, of emotional response. So this is a distinction between our state of being and our feelings. You see, our state of being is so powerful, that once you understand who you really are, then it's easier for you to be able to flex and move things around to your favor. That's the reason why a man must know who they are, a woman must know who she is, because you see, a person who is sad is different from a person experiencing sadness at the moment. Let me repeat that again. A person who is sad is different from someone that is experiencing sadness at the moment, because it's a state of being, but that's not really who you are. When you learn how to focus, then you are able to see what's inside your mind, but you have to learn how to focus first. So you have to accept so you can let it go and finally what transform it. You see, mind sight, or the ability to travel into your future with the mind is a very unique human capability that allows us to delve into, and understand the intricacies of your thoughts, and your emotions, and your actions, so you can actually know why you're doing the things that you're doing, what causes you to do the things that you're doing. It's a fundamental skill central to social and emotional intelligence. You see, when you focus on attention, you alter your brain's neural pathways, because fostering growth in region essential for mental well-being. Your brain is saying, what are you doing to me? Because what you're doing right now is you're hijacking the normal routine of your brain, and then you're forcing your brain to almost take a detour. But this is a self-imposed detour because you cause this detour. So your brain is like, what's going on here? But the power of you being able to control your brain and hijack your brain, okay? That power that you have is what makes you very, very special. That's what differentiates us from animals, and so on and so forth. You see, although sometimes I feel like some humans act like animals because they lost control of the power of their brain, which is the greatest thing that they possess, because they don't fit in it. You see, we are all born with the muscles. Becoming an athlete requires you're learning what? You're learning to exercise them. So similarly, understanding and navigating our mental world often begins with learning from parents and caregivers that constantly are pouring into you, regardless of their success or failure. Your parents and your caregiver as a kid have influenced your life tremendously. When I say tremendously, tremendously. You see, you can acquire the skill at any stage, for example. You learn how to bike, right? Then you stop biking. And then somebody gave you a bike as an adult. Then you kind of mess around with it, then you biking again. It's almost like a muscle memory. That's exactly how your brain works. That's exactly you. So if you learn it, you can achieve it. It's a question of making sure that your brain works, and you put your brain in a position that allow you the neuroplasticity of the mind, of the brain, allow you for your brain to rewire itself. When the brain rewire itself, then your mind can be very definitive and purposeful what you're looking for. So if you're looking for money, for example, let's just say that's what you're solving for. Guess what happened to you? Your brain will zero in on opportunities, alignment that will bring money to you. So if anything else is coming, relationship or this or that, you won't even recognize it. You won't even see it because your mind is locked into that which you want. This is the reason why the concept of the seventh sense is a very powerful concept. Very, very powerful. The seventh sense. You see, your ability and my ability to articulate our thoughts, feelings, sensations, memories, beliefs, behaviors, even desires, okay? They are limited. Either you and I know that or not. They're limited. So because we can experience this in a certain mental capacities, and we can perceive of them, but they are simply part of us. You see, mindset, however, offers a solution when you go into the vibration of mindset because it enables us to become aware of the depth of our minds, how powerful our minds is, allow us to move beyond mere reflexive reactions and to understand other perspectives, featuring, like, for example, empathy, like Daniel Siegel once says. By the way, this guy is, for those who don't know, is a pioneering psychiatrist, okay? Siegel. So the guy once says, he introduced the terminology of mind sight, MINDSI, GHT, to describe the vital skill that's crucial for our well-being. That's beyond your physical reality of your brain. Consider your seventh sense, mind sight, to complement your five senses. Because all of us have five senses. What are those senses? Your touch, your smell, your taste, your hearing, and your sight. These are five senses. Okay. So when we call it the five, was it concupiscences? Now, this, this right here connect us to the external world because your eyes is the first, your retina, it sees the world. Your eyes is what introduces you to the physical reality of the world. That's why one of the most powerful things you have is called a pineal gland. Your pineal gland is right there in the brain. The pineal gland is what's responsible for abundance. Okay, you actually have a part of your brain that's actually responsible for wealth. Either you know that or not. It's called the pineal gland. Okay, the pineal gland is fed by what? By your retina, your eyes. So here's the reason why your seventh sense, my sight, it complements your five senses I just mentioned. But these senses let us navigate our surroundings, walking into your physical reality, your feelings, your loved ones, your warmth, your touch, But our sixth sense is awareness of internal bodily states. That's our sixth sense. That's so you are aware of your body. Like, for example, you have a racing heartbeat. Your heart is racing. Okay, you're aware of that. That's your sixth sense. Maybe even sometimes your heartbeat indicate fear. Okay, it could be fear, it could be excitement. You have a stomach butterfly. Okay, cool. That's your sixth sense. You see, our seventh sense, mind sight, is our ability to look within and perceive the mind, to reflect on our experiences, almost like you're walking above yourself. And you make judgment based on those experiences. It's a very powerful play, guy. It is absolutely powerful. I can't even say it in words. It's almost like you came out of yourself to perceive of yourself and make judgment of the same experiences that you're having. How cool is that? How cool is that? By the way, that's called your seventh sense. You see, you guys are watching me right now, okay? You see, if I ask few questions, most people wouldn't even pay attention to care anyway because their mind sight is not there because they're still busy with the five senses that they have. This message is only for those who want to grow, who want to have what we call a growth mindset. You want abundance in your life, you're not settling. Like you're looking for what you're looking for, if you know what I mean. Like you know what you're looking for and you're not playing around. And you're clear about what you're looking for. This message is for you. Because you see, your mindset equip you to deal with life's stressors. It balances your emotions. It finds internal balance. It focuses your attention. It puts you in a place where you are able to harmonize your brain, and your body, enhancing your overall health. It strengthens relationships. It brings money to you, friends, colleagues, spouses, children, even your relationship with you. It enhances all of those things. There are four core principles of this. If you're taking notes, you should write this down, okay? Mind sight, or the ability to see, is a skill that can be learned. When the first American woman that ever went to space, the astronaut, she said something very profound. She says, you can't get what you don't see. So your ability to be able to see enable you to get. That's such a profound. She was 32 years old when she became an astronaut and went to space. That was incredible, guys. Do you realize right now, so many people, are not even visualizing, casting a vision for themselves, for where they're going. So therefore, life is a routine for them. You see, I need to learn very quickly. You can develop your mind. The first part to developing your mind, is the mindset skill. The second one, okay, is learning the mindset physically that alters your brain structure. Because now you're going to what we call neuroplasticity. The third one, your mindset aids the brain in achieving and maintaining integration because your mind and your brain will continue to do exactly what you want it to do because your mind is not going to disappoint you. Trust me, your mind will not disappoint you at all. Your mind is going to respond to you the way you respond to it. So it's very important to understand the brain and mind relationships. Let me talk about that for a minute, okay? I want to reflect on the case of Barbara, who suffered a devastating accident leading to a permanent damage to her prefrontal cortex, completely damaged. Her children, Amy and Lynn and Tom, they struggle to recognize their mother in her post-accident state, as did the husband, by the way, Ben. Ben didn't recognize the wife anymore, okay? It was only though, like they went to therapy, but through therapy, they understood the impact of Barbara's injury on her triangle of well-being. The story underscores the importance of mindset. You see, the following part of the overview, it will delve into what we call the interplay. The interplay between the mind and the brain, which profoundly influences our relationships. Because in the case of this woman, like they couldn't understand what just happened to her, but there was a flipping of the brain that took place on the accident. The triangle of well-being, it's again a triangle, okay? Triangle of well-being. It consists of three interconnected aspects of our existence. The first one is relationships, okay? Relationships involve the exchange of energy, and information that will interact and communicate with others. The second one is your brain. So you have your relationship, then you have your brain. Guys, I always say this. I say a brain is a terrible thing to waste. But in this case, brain refers to the physical entity that facilitates the exchange. While the third one is called your mind. Your mind, almost like untouchable and unseeable. Your mind is the process that governs the flow. So I say to people, for example, if I see a husband and wife moving in the right direction, guys, I'm here in Atlanta right now. We just went through a commencement ceremony. What incredible university that I have, guys! It's Viridian University, and the founder, Dr. Tia, and the co-founder, Dr. Naiki. Just a lot of love and respect, for these ladies, and I sat there, and I got an honorary doctorate today in leadership and business. And when I sat there, I'm like, hold on a second. They are making such a big impact in the world. But as I'm sitting in the room and I'm looking at, graduating students, I know the family members, etc. And before I went up to give my speech, all I was thinking is the three dynamics between the physical reality of the room, the minds of everybody in the room, the triangle of the relationships with all of them. Because in my mind, I was breaking down kinetically, socially, mentally, literally, even in the world of quantum, like what is the dynamics and the interplay of what's taking place at this moment. You see, why am I taking you through this? An incredible work, by the way, that the doctors are doing, for the university, making it a better place. Why am I even mentioning that? Because everything has a flow. Everything has a flow. I just gave you a flow, what happened to me today. Everything has a flow. So instead of segmenting your lives into separate entities, the triangle portrays the integrated version, the integrated systems, and the energy and the information flow that you have within your body. Guys, this is so profound, because once you realize that everything moves in synchronicity and everything happens to be integrated, then it will make a lot of sense to you. You see, by the way, for you guys who are following me and listening to you can tell, I dwell and I thrive, in the space of financial literacy and money growth. That's me. I don't pretend to be everything to everybody, and I know that for sure. If you happen to be my follower, and you're with me on YouTube, or either on my Instagram, or maybe you are on my TikTok or whatever platform, Twitter, etc. You know one thing. I believe in financial literacy. I believe in development of the mind. I believe that you are who your mind is, because the approach of a mindset and the growth of a mindset, it's a movement of energy and information within the triangle of your well-being. The quicker you understand this kind of stuff, the more blossom life will be for you. You see, nobody has any power over you or over me unless the power you give to them. Your mind sight involves monitoring the flow. When a husband and wife connects, 1 plus 1 equals 2. But a husband and wife on the same frequency, 1 plus 1 is not 2 anymore, 1 plus 1 is 3. Because there's a third invisible power that exists that connects them. It's called a triangle. That's what it's called. It's a triangle. You see, when you begin to understand the power of your brain, your relationship, the flow of energy, when you begin to take control of your mind, that day, officially, is when you begin to do life. Up to then, you have lived a life of pure routine. Pure routine. You see, in the space of neuroplasticity and mental maps, okay? When neural structures, this is science now, when neural structures suffers any severe damage, returning to our former selves can be very challenging. That's the reason why somebody who have an accident, they start forgetting everything. Or you see an elderly person, they start having all kind of issues. By the way, all of this makes a lot of sense. The brain, however, has the ability to repair itself, and that's what a lot of people don't know that. The brain can actually heal itself. Let me say that one more time. the brain can heal itself. Does that mean you can heal yourself? The answer is actually yes. If you are sick, you can actually heal yourself too. Well, that's hogwash. That's not true. Why don't you try it? The prefrontal cortex that's located, behind the forehead, of the example of Barbara I gave you was severely damaged, in an accident because she suffered trauma. But it says crucial for personality and act as a bridge between distant brain regions. So now you can see the effect to her. It's an integral part of the frontal lobe responsible for complex thought processes. So the brain region forms mental representations of different facets of our existence. One part of your brain, is responsible for childhood. Another one, adults, and so on and so forth. And the information are packed, locked up until it's needed again. And there's so much information to go into the brain that the brain can't just absorb every information. So it takes the information that it finds as necessary to it. So that's why the brain looks for what we call a survival mode. It constructs what we call me map, my map, my life, me. That's how your brain works, by the way. So your brain constructs your world for you. So when you realize that you are the architect of your life, and then when you realize that you're responsible for what happens to you in your life, when you realize that you create your own universe, guys, it is scientifically true. It's very, very true. Because you organize and you create your own map for yourself, either knowingly or unknowingly. Either you're aware or not. You see, mental representations such as that map that you created for yourself, that me maps, or that we maps, it will help you to understand your mind in both yourselves and others. Because you're looking at the world from a certain prism set of eyes, and that's how you see the world. So the absence of my me map with your mindset, it results in being swamped by thoughts or feelings coming from every directions. That's the reason why you have thousands of thoughts coming through your mind any given minute. But if you don't have my me map, you're lost in the oceans of thoughts. So that is the reason why, it's extremely important to protect your head. By the way, I mean that literally, protect your head. Yes, when we protect your head, physical damage. The physical damage to your head or to your brain can be very devastating. Very, very. As you can see, not just physically, mentally, mindset, and foresight. It's dangerous. Protect your head. Literally, if you want to say metaphorically, both ways. You see, the functions of the the prefrontal area, which include managing your bodily functions, like balancing your emotions, adaptability, like empathetic understanding, or even managing fear, moral conduct, intuition, and gaining insight. These are all essential for your overall well-being. Every one of them. Your middle prefrontal area. You see, the range from the physical aspects like your heart regulation to your social elements, all of those ranges right there I just mentioned, empathy and moral judgment, your middle frontal brain plays such a very big role. This is the reason why balancing your brain hemispheres is a good thing for your emotional well-being. Very, very, because your brain is divided into two parts, also known as the two hemispheres. The left brain and then the right brain. You see, the left hemisphere is utilized for logical thinking. So your left brain is all your thoughts and all the logic and everything is taking place in the left brain. Okay? In the left brain. And you see, the left brain, when someone's about you're so logical, my goodness, you're so left brained. That's exactly what it means. When someone says you're so left brain, I mean you're very logical. It predominantly focuses on the past and the future. Let me say that one more time. It focuses on the past and the future. That's your left brain. And it's key to recognizing, you know, I mean, like recognizing some of your experiences. But now, watch this. In contrast, your right brain, or known as your right hemisphere, is geared towards creative thinking. It's geared towards focusing on the present here and now. And it's key in recognizing your emotions. So unfortunately, many of us will favor the left brain to the right brain because I think people really don't understand it because they think, they miss it backward. They think their left brain, is the narrative that focuses on emotions and that kind of stuff. And they think the right brain is logical. I know it actually is the opposite. So learning to be aware of your emotion is an attainable skill. Anybody can learn that. However, understanding feelings involves more than just recognition because sometimes you will encounter emotions that are difficult to articulate. Why am I feeling this feeling right now? But you have no explanation for it. This can literally, they can lead to a sharing of feelings that are very complex in nature, sometimes, insurmountable tasks. So your mindset-based thoughts, or therapies in this case, they're designed to assist you to navigate those challenges. You see, to deeply understand our feelings, we need to exercise the right hemisphere. That's where the feelings. Let me say it again. To deeply understand our feelings, you have to exercise the right hemisphere. Because your left brain, your left hemisphere is logical. Your right brain, your right hemisphere, it's emotional, it's narrative, it's feelings. It's a balancing of both. That's why we say balancing both your brain hemisphere, your right and your left, for your emotional well-being. So now, to engage in this approach, you really need to do, you could conduct a body scan, for example, in a period of stress. When you're really stressed out, do a body scan. This exercise involves lying down and methodically focusing on each body part in turn while you lay down. While you do that, okay, this type of practice, the mind begins to conjure mental images of safe spaces when you do that, helping maintain what we call a control over your bodily responses. This type of exercises can actually help you at this technique to concentrate, on the physical sensation and awareness, and it can help you with the balancing of the brain. See, there is also the dynamics of energy and information in human relationships. Don't forget that part. This interaction consists of the movement of energy and information throughout the human body. Energy serves as the physical force behind actions because without energy, we're done. Einstein says what? E equals mc squared. What does E represent? Energy. Energy is powerful. Guys, we're all made up of energy. You know that, and I know that. So energy serves as the physical force behind actions, while information represents entities different from themselves. So your words and ideas are typical examples of information used in communications. So when you speak, those words that you're speaking are just the physical reality of what you used in communications, but they were first given birth to in your thoughts. You see, the state of well-being is identified as the result of a system that's achieving integration. That's the state of well-being. Integration refers to the act of liking various components of a system, but then you integrate them together as one. You see, differentiation allows system, component to become very distinct because again they're different. However, to develop specialized functions and for your brain to operate at optimum capacity and to maintain a certain level of autonomy at the same time, guess what happened? There must be a linkage that involves the practical connection between the components along with what? Your mind sight. Your mind sight. I can go in there. Your mind sight. Because you see, mind sight can be employed deliberately to foster integration in our lives. And right now, God knows we need integration. It's a triangle. We need that triangle. A system that remains open to the external factors, and can handle chaos is turned to what we call what? A dynamic system. That system is non-linear. It's a complex system. Such a system, by the way, when integrated, operates in the most flexible and adaptable way possible. The acronym FACES, FACES, FACES. What does FACES stand for? F stands for flexible, A stands for adaptive, C stands for coherent, and then E stands for energized, and then S stands for stable. So we call that FACES, stable. This kind of will help you to aid you to recall attributes of an integrated system flow. So it will invite your thoughts and your feelings into awareness, allow you to learn from them rather than being driven by them. Why am I feeling this way right now? Why is my emotion like this? What causes me to think the way I just thought? You see, so literally, your mind is going into a special place because your mind, guys, I'm just amazed. Honestly, guys, I'm really genuinely amazed. I'm so genuinely amazed. How are you, Ruth? I'm so genuinely amazed how powerful of a mind that we have. I'm genuinely amazed about it. If only we use that power. You see, the mind actively utilizes the brain to construct its reality. Whatever reality you construct is the life you live. That's why you're the own architect of your own life. Because your mind will build your life for you. Your mind will use your brain to design a life for you. That's exactly what it's going to do. And whatever it designed for you is exactly what you live. So I want you to think about this, okay? Concentrated attention triggers specific neural pathways. So if you concentrate for a prolonged period of time, your brain, your energy, everything is like zero in on something, your brain begins to rewire itself. Because that means, wow, this thing is important. You slow me down. What is that you're staring at? What are you looking at? So automatically the brain, again, through what we call neuroplasticity, it rewires itself. And also there's a new alterations in the connections among your active neurons. A crucial process that I just described, known as what? Neuroplasticity. This is the power, okay? That when I say is the power, this is the power that you and I really have. You see, my sight is essential. Very, very. Okay? It's very essential in focusing, on your neural integration. The functions originating from the middle, your prefrontal cortex, a central area of the brain. The brain region would include your anterior cingulate, your orbitofrontal, and also the medial and the ventrolateral prefrontal area. You see, all of these links your brains together, the entire cortex, limbic system, brainstem, physical body, and even your social systems. The 9 middle prefrontal functions that arise from this complex neural integration, you need to know these things, okay? It includes your body regulation, attuned communications, emotional balance, fear modulation, because fear can either propel you or destroy you. So you got to modulate your fear. Response flexibility, which is key, and also like your insight, empathy, morality, and intuition. You see, guys, the power of your brain is so immense. When I say immense, that I will go back again. A brain is a terrible thing to waste. So when I see people not using their brain, or worse, they dump down their brain, they are condemned to live a certain life, a very, 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 very painful life. When you elevate your brain, you elevate the quality of your life because your mind controls everything. Everything. You see, the functions I just mentioned, these functions are reflective skills like introspection. They're very powerful. The first I just mentioned to you guys, like nurturing, for example, a parent to a child, relationships, illustrating how integration actually enhances your well being. The first eight are linked to the outcomes of a secure, nurturing parent. So, if you're talking about body regulation, attuned communication, emotional balance, fear modulation, response flexibility, insight, empathy, morality. What I just mentioned to you guys right now, guys, is a tremendous regulation that takes place, literally, through what we call the introspection. You see, your mind is not exclusively an outcome of the middle prefrontal cortex functioning. It's more than that. It's more than that. You see, the practice of introspector, focusing on the mind with openness and observation of objectivity, fundamental aspects of an effective mindset technique. Guys, that alone by itself will put you in what I call a position of snag. What is snag? It's an acronym. Snag is stimulate, neuron, activation, and growth. That's SNAG. SNAG. So the process illustrates how your experience, including where you place your attention, can reshape your brain structure. That's why today, one of the speakers at the commencement ceremony today, which I spoke at, a keynote speaker, Dr. Ibrahim, said something very profound. He kept saying your environment, your environment, your environment, your environment, your environment. And he says, if you are in this environment, you are the product of that environment. If you're in that, you are the product of that environment. It's like, first thing you have to work on is what? Your environment. Because if your environment sucks, you're going to suck. He's right. He's completely right. Because even the brain will rewire itself to adapt to your environment. You see how powerful that is? So, expanding your window of tolerance to improve your life is a key to resiliency. It's a key. Because when you broaden your windows of tolerance, it will boost your ability to persist and to resist, and so therefore you become resilient. A constructed window heightens the chance of exceeding the limit of energy because now you can't take it anymore. Oh my God, I can't take this anymore. This is too much for me. Okay. That means your window of tolerance is now constricted. You see, methodically, if you really sat down and you make an assessment of your mind, focusing on sensations, images, feelings, thoughts, guys, you can keep track of the flow of energy and information within your window of tolerance. You can tell your level of tolerance. Most people just lose their cool, they lose information, they lose their emotions because they never made any assessment to actually check exactly who they are. So there is no control of flow. Everything is just a free flow of energy. You see, when you learn how to widen your windows for different feelings or situations by altering your brain's dynamic, then guess what happened? You could really play a major role in the regulatory circuits so that you can begin to actually put yourself in a position where your brain begins to bring to you the things that you deserve. You see, everything I'm talking to you right now happens, I'm talking in the area of science here. Okay? This is all science. Men lie, women lie, but numbers don't lie. A great physicist also says In God we trust. But everybody else, bring me data, bring me numbers. You see, those of you who are pure scientists listening to me right now, you fully understand my terminology and what I'm talking about today. Because the wheel of awareness symbolizes your mind. So by remaining, by keeping it open, and accepting also, guess what you can do? You can monitor your mental activities and you can edge out of the little box that most people stay at. You can break that box. You can think outside of the box. Because mind sight employs the wheel of awareness to stay open, to deepen your understanding of your inner world. It's a beautiful place to be, folks. It really is. So by fostering integration, you have the capacity to change both your inner selves and your interactions with other people. And you know what's powerful about that? What's powerful about that is you put yourself in the position, state of mind that can turn even your neural comments into fighting words. Because even guys, when you're having conversation with someone, you're just having a convo with them. You're having a conversation with someone. Just your look, your perception, and when you ever say even a single word in terms of your neural, you know what happened? It changes everything for you. It really does. When I say it changes everything for you, it really changes everything for you. Everything changes. You know, and I can and I can tell you this much. Okay, I'm responding to a message here real quickly. You know, and just a second. Um, I'm gonna give you all of these details. Okay. I waited for my wife to arrive from the airport. To arrive from the airport. Perfect. All right. Thank you for your patience. For those of you that have the patience. All right. I want to bring this to a close. I want to bring this to a close. Life's challenges, including childhood traumas, physical injuries, social environment, they shape our view of the world and can lead to stress and depression. See, it's essential to understand that our experiences, okay, and harmony in our social environment and within ourselves, super critical. Mindset offers psychological techniques for understanding and reshaping our inner worlds. It's a tool that can be applied in the midst of life's chaos. Not just during our quiet moments, for instance, you don't need to be alone. In a serene room to use mindset to calm tensions, such as when your children argue over food, for example. See, mindset is particularly useful in dealing with daily uncertainties of life. You got a major problem, you don't know how to handle that, go to mindset. Because mindset naturally will push you to a place where you begin to address the disorder of the mind, and it will allow you to see things that ordinarily you wouldn't have seen before. It allows you to transform the negative emotions shaped by your brain structure and past experiences. It shaped it all for you. In fact, it reflects, it trains, it regulates your emotions. Mindset allow you to truly be who you're designed to be. Unfortunately, not too many people will spend time on mindset. Now, here are a couple of things you could do that can help you. The naming and taming strategy is very effective for dealing with the bothersome issues of mind, of life. When you are worried, perform a body scan to locate the worry source and explore the sensation around it. so you can understand them better. This thing will change your life, by the way. Okay? Recognizing and accepting your anxious feelings makes managing them even easier. You say, you're human, I am. If you don't know yourself, you can give what you don't have. And like the famous lady said, you can't go somewhere where you don't see. So where your mind travels, your body goes. So having said that, guys, today I really want to spend some time to just educate and to just train and spend time on how for you to use the power of your mind, the power of your brain to do something massive. If you like my content, follow me on my social media platform. Remember, okay? Remember, we're all on a journey. My journey is called financial literacy, and I just want to continue to make the world a better place through the population of the growth of the mind, called the growth mindset. I want to see, people who have a very difficult life have a better life. I want to see people who struggle with their bills to become financially free. I want to see people whose relationship have been broken apart to mend their relationship. Put it to you this way: I'm here to make it a better place, for real. That's my mission. That's my cause. Feel free to join my cause, by the way. Feel free to join my cause. It's a noble cause. It's worth it. I want to tilt the earth towards the heaven. And if God give me the power to, I will. And it's through development of the mind. So join me in this crusade. Follow me. Like my content. Post, share, comments. Either on my YouTube, on my Instagram, on my TikTok. Just type in Kehinde Thomas. Like you see, Kehinde Thomas. You'll find me everywhere. So with that said, walk like it's up to you, pray like it's up to God, and thank you for the time. Appreciate every one of you guys. Thank you guys. Bye now. Bye. Okay.